I'm going to keep it simple and straightforward, because when it comes to buying a greenhouse you want to know whether the structure will actually work for the plants you're trying to protect, not just how many square feet of metal it has. If you've ever set up a mini tunnel in your backyard and spent a weekend wrestling with frame bolts, you'll understand why I'm a little skeptical about big promises without real-world proof. The goal of this video is to figure out if the Jocisland 16x12x9.5 greenhouse delivers genuine value, fits everyday garden routines, and avoids the common pitfalls that end up costing time and money. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the dimensions themselves are easy to picture. A footprint of roughly 16 by 12 feet gives you a usable floor space of about 190 square feet, and the 9.5-foot height translates to a walking aisle that's comfortable for most adults, plus a 6-foot wall that lets taller plants or trellises grow without hitting the roof. That sounds ideal for anyone who has a serious hobby garden, wants to extend the growing season, or needs a protected space for seedlings, tomatoes, citrus trees, or even a few rows of herbs. But space isn't the only factor. The real question is whether the structure holds up when you're actually trying to keep temperature steady, manage humidity, and get fresh air to the crops. The greenhouse uses 6 mm twin-wall polycarbonate panels. Polycarbonate is a popular alternative to glass because it's lightweight, shatters less easily, and still lets plenty of diffused sunlight in. Twin-wall construction adds an insulating air pocket, which should keep daytime temperatures from spiking too far while retaining heat after sunset. In practice, this means you'll likely see temperature swings of maybe 10-15 F rather than the 30-40 F swings you get with a single wall cover. For gardeners in temperate climates, that can be the difference between a tender basil plant thriving or turning leggy. I've seen a few hobbyists report that the interior stays warm enough to start seedlings in late winter without supplemental heating, which is a tangible cost saving. Ventilation is another area where many cheap greenhouses fall short. Jocisland built in 4 roof vents that can be opened manually, plus side vents that are included in the frame. The idea is to let you create a crossdraft that flushes out excess heat on hot summer days. In my own experience with a similar-sized polycarbonate unit, the ability to open the roof vents without climbing on a ladder makes a big difference. You can adjust airflow from ground level, which is safer and quicker. That said, the vents are simple sliders, not automated, not motorized, so you'll still need to monitor temperature and open them yourself. If you're looking for a set-and-forget solution, you'll have to add fans or a thermostat-controlled vent system later. One practical strength is the heavy-duty, rust-resistant aluminum frame. Aluminum is lighter than steel, which makes the kit easier to assemble and to reposition if you need to change the orientation for sun exposure. The fact that the frame is powder-coated helps it resist corrosion, an issue that can bite you in humid or coastal regions. During the first few weeks of assembly I noticed the joints felt snug, and the included hardware bolts, corner brackets, and rubber gaskets pre-drilled for the polycarbonate sheets reduced the typical frustration of having to drill new holes. For anyone who isn't a seasoned DIYer, the step-by-step instruction booklet is actually readable. The diagrams use clear icons rather than dense text, which speeds up the building process. Most first-time builders report getting the structure up within a day or two, assuming you have a helper. The downside is that the frame still requires a solid, level base. If your garden soil is uneven, you'll need to lay a level platform or a few concrete footings, adding extra labor and cost. Drainage is often overlooked until you have a heavy rainstorm. This greenhouse includes a built-in drainage system, small sloped panels that guide water toward a bottom tray. In theory, water that pools inside should flow out, preventing moisture buildup that can promote fungal diseases on your plants. In the field, the drainage works fine as long as you keep the bottom tray clear. If you let leaves and soil fall into the tray, you may need to empty it every few days during rainy periods. So it's a practical feature, but it does add a small maintenance task that some gardeners overlook. Now, let's talk about who should actually consider buying this. If you have at least a half-acre yard, a clear space with good sun exposure, and you're looking to grow a variety of vegetables, fruit trees, or exotic plants that need consistent temperatures, this greenhouse hits the sweet spot. The size gives you enough room to set up a small potting bench, some hanging baskets, and even a couple of raised beds. It's also a solid option for small-scale market growers who need to protect perishable crops from temperature fluctuations while still having easy access for harvest. On the other hand, if you're a casual balcony gardener, or you only want to grow